is where the gut check, man. This is where the fun starts. You like the pressure? This is what the game's all about. Put yourself in a little pressure shot and you'll see how good you get.
AFC champions en route to Miami in the Super Bowl.
The spark worked. They won the ball game against the New England Patriots. The situation, not the controversy, the situation that follows is if Neil O'Donnell has a slow part of a ball game, do the fans start to react? Do the players start to react and look around to see? And the way the players do it, they don't do it by looking around. They necks stay still, their eyes move left to right, wondering if Neil O'Donnell's coming out of there.
That's exactly right, and that's my whole point in this thing. I think Glenn Foley should be getting a chance to play the game.
Chris Collinsworth is wrong. He's on the wrong side, and we have Sam straddling the fence. He doesn't know where he wants to go.
That.
And I'm only one that's right here. Bill Parcells is right.
Well, Sam is going to love this. This will give him something for the whole year. I used to say Sam is genius as he is, which he is. He's much smarter than Joe.
Thanks a lot, Mike. I don't know if Ahmad Rashad and Greg Gumbel and Chris Collinsworth agree with that, but I actually do.
What he does, he tries to trick people too much. Sometimes you got to hit them in the face and make their eyes water.
That's very nice information, but you know, I always had a more subtle way of getting my point across.
Wake up! You're looking at me like I'm not even talking. You're not hearing me.
Well, enough talk about the old days, but you know what? I've got too much time on my hands now, and I would love to speak to your group, whether it be a luncheon or a dinner speech, an annual convention, or just a sales meeting. I'd love to take my experiences on the field, pull them off the field, and put them into the world that you live in.
That's Sam Wyche, boy. He's some kind of speaker. Some kind of bad speaker, man. Used to bore me to death in those meetings.
Being a former quarterback and coach is one thing I think I know how to do, and that's capture the attention of an audience. Double wing split right, 82Z and X post 2 down, ready. One thing a coach like I can do is take the stories that aren't always read in the newspaper and bring them straight to you. The little guys in the NFL will, I'm talking about the wide receivers and the defensive backs, between 8 and 15 times they can bench press 225 pounds. The big guys, the 300-pounders, will do it anywhere from 25 to maybe 35 times that they'll bench press 225 pounds. The world record is 44 times. A guy named Brian Pillman, he's a wrestler now, Flying Brian Pillman, out of the University of Miami. Really couldn't play a lick of football, but it was fun watching this guy bench press. Actually, we drafted him in Cincinnati, and so I ended up in Tampa. But, and one thing you can always count on with me is that I'll always be a gracious host to your audience. The next time you're in the gym, and I can see from looking around the room that the next time some of you will be in a gym will be your initial visit. But, well, as you can see, I'm very good at making people feel right at home. Nobody wants to ask a dumb question, but there are no dumb questions, yeah.
Coach Reeves is a great coach. Why can't he win some games?
Coach Reeves is a great coach. Why can't he win some games? Now, I was wrong. There was one dumb question left, and you thought of it. If I sound like the kind of guy that would fit your program, contact me by mail or by phone.
Now I'm with CBS doing color commentary for the NFL on Sundays. But the following are a couple of talks that I've made. The quality is not the best. Chris Collinsworth did the videography on it. But I hope it'll give you an idea of what kind of presentation you can expect from me.
First, I'd like to, I'm going to move in front here in just a second, but I'd like to know, just so I know whose stadium I'm playing in. Yeah, if you would just go ahead and your class act that you have in Cleveland there, if you'd bark if you're a Cleveland Brown fan. Okay, show you how we are in Cincinnati. All you Cincinnatians, just unzip your fly here, just like we do. That's all we do. Fix their butt. My name is Sam Wyche, and I coach the Cincinnati Bengals. Most of you got to see us. We were, as I mentioned on the first tee out there, we're the team from Ohio that's played in 2 Super Bowls. So, and it starts out very simply. I don't know if any of you have ever seen this or ever done one of these, but they're fun to do, and I'll show you a little bit later. I take a card about, can you guys see from back there? You can't. You're just going to have to assume that I'm not lying to you. There's a dot on one side of the card. On the back side of the card, there are how many dots? 2 dots. Some guys say 4 fingers. They get to be offensive linemen. Then we turn the card over. And we say there are 3 dots on the reverse side, and there are 4 dots on the back side of that. Now, basically, that's all there is to it. There's 1 dot over here, 2 dots over here, 3 dots over here, and 4 dots over here. Now, that's how the trick works. Now, the position coaches carefully watch the players, as I'm watching you now. And there's always one guy sitting up front, and he's generally like this, you know, kind of giving it one of those. And about the time the thing's over with, he goes, "Makes sense to me." He is the head coach. I mean, I saw him do that. So those guys are our linebackers. We get to put them there. We figure they're going to butt heads enough they'll believe anything. They have nice long careers and then go into city council work when they get through. All right, now the quarterback has them at the line. The first thing the quarterback does when he gets to the line of scrimmage is he puts his hands between the legs of the center who's bending over the ball. Now, I notice there's always one guy that thinks there's something funny about the T formation. This is just the way that the ball is exchanged. The quarterback puts his hands. There's nothing wrong with this. Now, we happen to have a center that enjoys long counts. You know, you get those every now and then. Keeps turning around saying, "Go on 4," you know, do that. Like it. Sports really are just a little picture of what we all live in. I mean, let's face it. You go out there and you go into the office and you've got a load of lumber coming in and you hope you got the sale on the other end of it and you hope there's a profit margin in there big enough to take home after expenses that you can keep the business alive and restock, and the working capital doesn't dwindle right in the middle of the season, and all the problems that come up during the course of business. You can relive it on a Sunday afternoon in 3.5 hours of second guessing from the bleachers. But the things I said to the guys were this. Number one, be physical. This is a physical sport. We happen to play professional football. In the world outside the world of sports, that would translate into be aggressive. Don't be afraid to take a chance. Don't be afraid to let it all hang out there. You've got one shot at it, 4 quarters to play. Don't be afraid to be the first guy to make the hit. Don't be afraid to be a frontiersman a little bit out there. Be aggressive. Be physical. Second, keep your poise. There's going to be times out there we're playing the Green Bay Packers or the Buffalo Bills. It doesn't matter whether the team's got a good year or having a poor year. They're going to have their moments. They're going to have some good plays. They're going to make a safety blitz work every now and then. There's going to be a great catch here and there. Keep your poise. Don't lose control of your concentration. On occasion, and this has never happened to us, but on occasion we understand that an official will blow a call. We've read about it. And in those cases, when you don't agree with the call the officials made, you feel it's unfair, that's easy to lose your concentration. Same out there. You've put a bid in on something, and just at the moment you think you've closed the deal, somebody comes in with a brother-in-law who's in the business, and the thing's gone. And it's easy to lose control, say something that the next time that sale opportunity comes around, your poise costs you the future sale. It can cost a football player a better play in the second half or the next play. And finally, be physical, keep your poise, and finish everything. The Super Bowl ring that we got a couple of weeks ago has engraved inside of it those 2 words, finish everything.
So it is an honor and a pleasure to have Sam with us here today. And again, I wanted to give you a pleasant break from what you've been doing and ask Sam to come up and share some of his war stories with you. Sam Wyche.
Y'all must have been really bored stiff with this guy. I was watching the body language and the expressions when you said that, and they were very much relieved. How many of you, speaking of relieved, I was in the, I don't see where you are. I was in the restroom just a moment ago, and I was standing next to somebody from Cuyahoga County in Cleveland originally. He's great. Here? I know he was from Cleveland. In fact, we were talking, and he said he had tickets to the dog pound. You remember when Cleveland was Cleveland Browns and so forth, and we had great rivalries up there, and I picked him out as a Cleveland Brownie because he was standing there at the urinal like this, with his leg hiked up. Where are you? I know you're here somewhere, so don't,
I'm going to do my little party. I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia, and played high school ball there and then college ball at Furman University, and then I got a chance to play pro and coach in the pros. And so my life has been wrapped around football a lot, unlike yours that has been making an honest living in the free enterprise system here in this country. But the similarities are, believe me, they're everywhere I go, and every time I get a chance to meet with somebody that is in another endeavor, it is amazing how many things are similar. And I thought it'd be interesting for just a few minutes to talk about basically where I've been, and there'll be some subliminal similarities that will be sneaking out as we go. Some of them you may not pick up, I may not even know I said. And I'd always start the season in the off season by saying similar things. And one of them was, number one, guys, of course I'm talking only to the football players, I'm going to treat each and every one of you fairly, just so we know the rules here. Everybody's going to get treated fairly. But in order for me to treat you fairly, I've got to treat each and every one of you differently. Some of you that are a little bit overweight are going to have to run more laps than the other guy who's lean and mean. So don't be looking at me when I tell that guy he doesn't have to run as many laps as you do and get all upset thinking you're not being treated, getting a square deal here. I'm going to treat you fairly because I want you to be the best player you can be. I want him to be the best player. No sense wearing him down. You need to lose some weight. So as we go, football team, organization, Dr. Pepper Bottling Company, I want you to make sure that you understand that fairness is not always even Steven in terms of assignments or in terms of roles that you play or in terms of responsibilities that you have. Sometimes you've got to play a role that doesn't seem to have quite the status as somebody else, but it's just as important. That's one thing I tell them. And then the other thing that we would always go through, this was a snooker play. I'd say, all right, guys, how many of you in this room want to play on a winning football team? Let me see it. How many of you want to play? Well, everybody always put their hand up because they didn't know, but, thought I might fire them, I guess, if they didn't raise their hand. Well, everybody wants to play on a winning team. I mean, nobody wants to say, hey, can I go play, jeepers, can I play for last year's Jets again? No. They want to play for a winning football team. Then my next question is, well, that's fine. Now let me see the more important question to answer. How many of you want to be a part of the reason we're going to win? Well, some of them would say, well, what do we have to do before we raise our hand on that one? Well, being a part of the reason you're going to win is so much more important and it's so much more of a price to pay in order to get there. A lot of people fall short. They fall out along the way. And I know that in your business, in your office, back home in your community affairs, in your personal affairs, there are times when you want to win, you want to do it right, you want to be up front, but somehow it's just not possible, or you don't have the desire or whatever to maybe be a part of the reason you're winning. You just like to kind of ride along with somebody that does want to be a part of the reason winning. I just submit to you that it's the best combination of players in the National Football League or in the bottling business or anything else. It's the best combination of participants that wins. That's it.